Hi, this is Professor Lushine. This is the Module 3 or Week 3 review, and then I'm going to try to give you some suggestions to help everybody get to the next level. So first, let's go over the performance, as you can see from the screen. As far as the amount of time people are spending on average and median and touches, it's been pretty, this week is pretty consistent with last week. So you guys are doing a great job there. Looking below these three tables to the week 3, as far as the discussion, similarities as well. There was a few less original, a couple more reply. The scores were about the same. Assignments good, reflections good. So you guys are doing really well. We had more students show up to the office hour and discussion, which I really appreciate. We had 7 on Thursday, 6 on Sunday. And hopefully I helped them out. Just today I had 2 one-on-one calls with different students. And I think they went well too. So if you're struggling at all, either come to an office hour and or reach out to me and we can find a time to talk. You'd be very surprised what we can do in just 15, 30 minutes. That's all it'll take. Yes. I sent out this email yesterday, Sunday night, apologizing. There was some confusion. It was my fault. I miscommunicated that there are 2 different courses. I should be calling them courses that I want you to complete through the CITI program, through the UWW Office of Research and Sponsored Programs. The first is Social and Behavioral Responsible Conduct and Research. It's just sort of a you have to have that if you're going to be, that's the basis for doing research. And then if you're going to have human subjects, which in safety we tend to, then you have to complete the human subjects research, social behavior and educational sciences, all researchers, stage 1. I understand that each of these take anywhere from 2.5 to possibly 5 hours to complete. That's a lot of time, and I thank you for those who already completed it. I think some of you even indicated that you found a way to do it. I had to do that too. I had to complete these 2 plus 2 more, and I think altogether that took me somewhere around 10 hours to complete. But because your degree has that 36 credit option, it is very critical that everybody completes these 2 courses. Because if you are just going for the 36 credit option, at least you went through these trainings and this course to give you the basis for how to do research. Yeah, that's about right. If you need additional time, I already extended the deadline by 2 weeks. If you need more time, I can definitely give it because I miscommunicated. The thing, it's not really my fault. They changed this stuff around on me. They moved some things around and I couldn't get in and see that it had changed. So I apologize, but so it was my fault. 70 of you have completed both already. Thank you so much. 10 of you have completed one of the 2. I'm waiting for the rest. So this is my clarification here to please get these done and then upload these certificates you see on the screen. These are mine, plus I had 2 others on my account. Do you guys remember on The Matrix, the first time Neo was going to do the jump? He said, free your mind, and he totally bit it. It's interesting that research kind of feels like that. You know, I'm giving you these broad statements, and I think I'm helping you by saying, free your mind, read the research. But until you do it, until you feel it, it doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to reiterate some things, and hopefully for some of you this clarifies, and that is read the published research. That is meant to be your guide. So you have a topic, you read some research papers on that topic. Is it guiding you to narrowing to a question? And also, you're attempting to propose a phenomenon, something that others could learn from, and you're not trying to just find out something specific to your workplace. Like which is the best machine guard for this machine, or what's the best type of training for that. Unless others can learn from it. If it's specific to your particular needs, that it's probably already been answered, and it's more or less just solving a problem versus doing research, which is again adding knowledge to what is already known about it. And if you do find an answer to your question, you know that the question needs to be changed, basically. Now, I always say now. I don't know. That's my natural word, I guess, for transition. A proper research paper will have different sections. The first section will be the introduction. The second section will be the methods. Third will be results. 4 will be discussion. And within the discussion, there are also conclusions and limitations. And then at the end is the bibliography and appendices. The intro background will provide all the background information, and a well-written intro and background is a logical progression for the reader. You're reading the justification, the context, the scope, and then the background information, the foundational research that brings me up to speed on everything that's known about it. And if it's done properly, as a reader, it gets to the research objectives or the actual sub-questions you're going to be pursuing, and it makes sense. You understand it. Logically, you brought me to this end. And then the next section is the methods, and you're educating me on how you did it. The data you're going to collect, the subjects you're going to sample or include, other details, so that if I would want to replicate it, I could. And then the results are the presentation of what was collected along with the analyses. And then the final section is the discussion. And that's where they should go into detail with, this is what the results were, this is what it meant based on our original introduction and background information and our assumptions. Then they're given the latitude to expand on what they experienced. And this is a gold mine in properly written research papers. They may indicate to future research projects they may have, or things that didn't work out, so they do it differently. Sometimes they just have ideas. They just share ideas. And depending on what journal and who the author is, you may find a half a dozen research questions, really cool research topics in one particular paper, or it may just reflect back on their original study because they really want to pursue it further. Just depends. So I don't know how you all are consuming, because it's really exciting to read the intro. That's always the funnest part. Most fun? I don't know. Part to read. Methods, boring. Results, whatever. And then you could just want to find out what they say about it. But keep reading. Go to the end and see what they say. Also, if once you find a research paper that really aligns with what you want to do, you can look at the bibliography and go back in time to find out what they were referring to. But using the UWW, the Whitewater Library, on the side, when you bring up the paper on the screen, it's got usually a list of other authors that have cited this paper or other publications that have cited this paper. Check those out too. That's like looking forward in time. All that stuff is meant to help you. So in module, I always say so or now. In module 3, in planning your research, I'm going back a little bit here. We've got this flow chart on the screen. I want you to be thinking more holistically now. Week 1, we were just getting acquainted with things. Week 2, we were introduced to the use of the library and the citation management. 3 got a little bit more in depth, and you guys began your training as researchers. Now in week 4, what I want you to do is give me a much more detailed research question, what you want to pursue. It's part of the assignment. Now I'm going to be approving what you're going to go forward with. So you're not locked into anything. You could try something this week, not like it, and switch next week. It's better if you were to talk to me prior if you're confused, but I'm more interested in you learning and going through the process than actually having something that works. But if you go through the process, you should find something that works. It's circular logic, isn't it? So please reach out to me or attend an office hour and we can talk through it. I wanted you this past week to start thinking about variables because that's really important. What you're going to be doing is the phenomenon is how this variable relates to this variable, or how this variable defines how this group thinks and it differs from this group. So it's the effect of things or the relationship of things. And then may have like a broader research question, but it's so broad that you're going to narrow it to sub-questions. And that's what your research objectives or your hypotheses are going to be. And they had talked about that in the textbook. This is longer than I thought it was going to be. So the topic of chapter 5, which is the assigned reading for module 4, I have a bunch of stuff on the screen here. This is all meant just to be a guide to you and not a recipe because everybody does it a little bit differently. So there's how to write a research proposal, and that's what this chapter is all about. And that's what your course assignment is. And I'm going to show you what the assignment sheet looks like here in a moment. You're going to have to kind of work your way through it. It's much like I had on that previous picture where free your mind, you jump, you fail. you're going to be going through some trial and error over the next couple weeks to get your topic approved, and then probably some trial and error in weeks 6 and 7 to get your proposal ready to be submitted and to present. That's what research is. I told you it's not a linear algebraic if then step one step two. It's kind of all over the place, and you kind of figure it out as you go. And that's a great learning experience. That's how Socrates taught, the Socratic method. I believe this is the last slide. If you guys are like grad students, I don't know if you've ever read PhD comics. I got it here on the top. It's funny. I read them when I was in grad school. It kind of helped alleviate the stress that you come in all excited about a topic, and then the professor's there. And also with planning, with research especially, I've got this quote from Mike Tyson. It's one I refer to a lot. When sure, you got to do all the planning in the world, but as soon as it comes into play, it messes you up. So this week, again, I want you to propose something for approval. It doesn't have to be approved this week. It just has to be approved by next week. But I'm going to give you specific feedback on it. Up till now, I've been more or less trying to guide you on the techniques of things, the mechanics of things. And now we're actually going to get into the substance of things. And so once you get your topic approved, you can start pursuing it, start expanding it, develop the background, making sure you're tweaking your research sub-questions or objectives. And then in modules weeks 5 and 6, we're going to cover a range of different research methodologies or study designs. And you get to pick one that you want to use. And that's about it. So let's go quickly to... Okay, so here on the screen, you've got Module 4, Week 4. So I just added the updated language for the semester project, and the rubrics are there if that's something you like. Here is the assignment sheet. Blow it up a little bit. It's due by Saturday, October 24th at midnight. You don't have to wait until Saturday 24th. I'd rather you not. Turn it in whenever it's ready. As far as length, it should be more than a few pages and less than 20 pages. It's whatever it takes, really. And I think that as long as you have anywhere from like 6 to 12 really good references or things in your bibliography, that should about do it. You could have a few more than that, but under 6 just would not cut it. And I try to explain what it's all about and what I want you to be turning in, the scoring of it. And the presentation should be under 10 minutes. So we'll have different sessions throughout that last week, and you can sign up for it. Or you can pre-record and send it to me, but it's more fun to hear from others, and we'll try to keep it to like a max of 4 or 5 so that one session is under an hour, so it's not too much of your time. And you can ask each other questions and kind of share what your experiences are, even beyond the discussion board, and the rubrics are here. So that's all I have for the review. This went twice as long as I'd wanted to, but please reach out to me if you have any questions. And if you need more time for the CITI courses, please let me know. Thanks.